awarded by my company, sent to the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip, and I said, hey, let me start to train other people, teach other people how to sell effectively. And these things happened 10 years ago, and we've happened to work with quite a number of clients over the years. So I'm going to be showing you quickly what you can do. How can you find clients who can pay now? And I said, yesterday we looked at the fact that the right mindset, there's a psychology of somebody who is able to find clients or find prospects who can pay now. And we said there are 4 mindsets you should have, or 4 mindset shifts you should have. Number 1, the mindset of clients paying now. You must believe that it's possible, that the opportunity is there. Number 2, the mindset of confidence. We said you must acquire the skills, you must acquire the right knowledge, because the more skills or knowledge you have, the more confidence you have, the more actions you take, the more results you produce. This means more skills or knowledge produces more confidence, which produces more actions, which leads to more results. Then we looked at the third mindset of expectation, the mindset of expectation. And we said always be prepared. Be prepared. It's better to have an opportunity. It's better not to have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So all your documents, all the things you need to sign, all the forms, make sure they are there. Then the fourth mindset shift we said is your mindset towards your price. How do you interpret price? Don't ever think people didn't do business with you because of price. Rather, focus on the fact that, hey, human beings respond to value. If you give value first, people would respond accordingly. Price mentioned before value has been understood is a sale lost. You want to find clients or find prospects who can pay now? Understand that price mentioned before value is understood is a sale lost. So there is no need mentioning the price until the value has been understood. Now, I didn't say price mentioned before value has been communicated, because you can think you've communicated value, but in communication, it's not what you think you said that matters. What has been understood by the prospects is what really matters. So don't mention your price until the value has been understood. And how do you know the value has been understood? Number 1, the first place you can tell that the value is understood is on the prospect's face. And that's why we always encourage you, don't sell over the phone. Especially if you sell high-ticket transactions. Don't sell over the phone, because the prospect can't pay over the phone. If the prospect can pay over the phone and give you his credit card details and you swipe, why not over the phone? But if it requires that there has to be a physical contact before the transaction or before money can be exchanged for the value, then make arrangements to have a physical meeting to have this value communication. So there are things that you can do to make your value communication way more effective and very powerful, such that if you meet a prospect now, he will pay now. I'll give you a story. One of the concepts I'm going to share with you now, I was running a training program for people in the IT industry. And I remember when I talked about these first points, which I'm going to mention shortly, the man said, by the time he was done presenting, the board of this bank, they said, oh, Mr. XYZ, in fact, Mr. X, in fact, because of your passion, because of your conviction, we are going to sign you up. Other people are come to present before him. But when he came to present, they said, no, we are doing business with you because of your passion and conviction. So the first thing to drive value and make sure that the value is understood is absolute certainty. Absolute certainty. What's absolute certainty? Passion. Conviction. You must believe that what you're offering is the best. Now, it doesn't, you see, you don't need statistical data to prove that what you have is the best. Ronaldo, I remember listening to an interview by Ronaldo. Ronaldo says, first of all, to be a success, you must believe that you're the best. You don't have to tell anybody, but inside here, in your heart, you must believe it. So in the same way, you must believe that your product is the best. You must believe that what you have can change the world. You must see purpose in what you have. In communication, 7% is just what you say. This means if I say, I love you, it's not just enough to say it. The tone of voice is 38%. That means how you say it. Now, if just words is 7%, if words is just 7%, tone of voice is 38%. 38 plus 7 is still 45%. 45% in an exam is still less than a C. It's still a D. It's not even up to a C. So this means if you only use words and tone of voice, it's still not enough to get you home. To get you home in terms of persuasion, in communicating your value effectively. If words is 7%, Tone of voice, 38%. What is the remaining 55%? According to research, 55% is body language. And your body language is a reflection of your feelings and your attitude. Your feelings towards your products, your feelings towards the economy, your feelings towards your boss, your feelings towards your organization. You need to make sure that all around you, only positive vibes. Only positive vibes. Wherever you are listening to me right now, I think you need to share this across to your groups. Please take the link and share to others. Share with your friends. Let them join in and let them learn like you're learning as well. So please, wherever you are, just say positive vibes only. Positive vibes only. So you're not going to be angry with anybody. Anybody who has offended you, you want to forgive the person. Why? Because in communication, 55% is body language. And your body language is a reflection of your feelings and your attitude. How do you feel about your products? Does it excite you when you think about the products? Anything can excite you if you give it attention. If you start to think about your products and you start to think about how it's helping people, how it's changing lives. When I say things like how your product is helping people, how it's changing lives, don't just look at the direct effects. Look at the ripple effects. There are things you must meditate on. There are things you must brood on. If, for example, you sell properties, how is somebody buying a house changing the world? You may not be able to see it directly because somebody paid 300 million for a property. You can't really see how that investment has impacted the world yet. But when you think about the fact that this man has taken a bold step to invest 300 million naira in a property, therefore, he has secured his children's future. Or he has his funds now, he hands it over to his children. The children, when they finish from school, they now have a house to live in. And maybe instead of them going through a lot of financial challenges, a lot of financial problems, they start out on a solid platter. Because they start out on a solid platter, they're able to get the right education, the right knowledge. They come back into the society, come up with inventions that improve our standard of living, that improve our lives. So think about it. There's always a ripple effect. Imagine if somebody had a serious crisis. See, there are people who, when they go into a crisis, they don't recover anymore. They don't recover anymore. I remember the story of somebody who, many years ago, he used to take us around to places, and all of a sudden, like a driver, right? Like a cab driver, he used to take us around to certain places for work, and all of a sudden, he had a big problem. Some officials on the road took advantage of him, seized his vehicle. From that day, he had not recovered. The challenges were still there for a long time. And who knows? There are people who, when they go into those kind of problems, they don't just come out again. And they just go into poverty, into difficulty. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say we must look at the ripple effect of what we sell. Because if that person who invested in that property gets into financial trouble, it could be the kind of trouble that he may not be able to come out of. But because of his investment with you, because he bought from you, all of a sudden, he can bounce back effectively. That's what I mean by the ripple effects of every purchase or every sale. So you must think ripple effects. When you think ripple effects, it affects your emotions. When you know that you're selling on purpose, you're selling as a sent one, you're selling like somebody on a mission, man, it's going to affect your convictions. It will affect your tone of voice. It will affect how you say what you say. And that's why when you're communicating value, you must speak with certainty. There are things that you must understand in your heart fully, your products. Master your products 100%. 100%. You must know the products even more than the person that created the products. Why? Because the salesperson must always know the products more than the MD, the owner, or the creator of the products. Because he's the one that's always selling it. He's always talking about it. And the Bible says, he that waters, himself will watered also. This means every time you communicate value, every time you communicate about the product or about your service, your knowledge is refreshed. More creativity comes into you. There is something that can never run dry. A well can run dry, but creativity can never run dry. Your creativity can never run dry. It just keeps, the well just keeps, it's an endless well. So absolute certainty about your product or service. I'll share that another story, but maybe another time. Now, so these are the 4 key drivers. Imagine if you met a prospect and, or let me look at it this way. Imagine if you told somebody, I love you. I love you. I love you. Is that going to make the person believe you? But what if I said, now, the way I just said it now, I love you. I'm only using words, 7%. But what if I said, I really like you. I really like you. What happens here? Like or love, which is stronger? Love is stronger, but the way I said the second one, I really like you. What happens here? You could tell the tone of voice is stronger. Therefore, it's more convicting. It's more passionate. Now, imagine if I didn't only say, I really like you, but I also said, I really like you. And I looked at you, eyeball to eyeball. Body language. You say, you're saying the truth. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you're communicating certain parts of value, for example, if you want to communicate some of your best features or best benefits of your product or service, you want to say it like truly it is the best and make eye contact. Your eye contact when you sell is very key. When you're going out there to engage your prospects, look at them in the eyes. And when you get to that part of a value communication that is very critical and very important and very powerful, you change your tone of voice. You look at the person and you say it like you mean it. They will believe you. So number one, the first driver is absolute certainty. You must be fully convinced about what you're offering. That way, price mentioned before value has been understood is a sale lost. When you'll be able to communicate value in a way that it will be understood. There are things that are said or taught. There are things that are caught. When you communicate with absolute certainty, it won't just be taught to them, it will be caught by them. Number two, physical appearance. How you dress, how you appear. Whether it's from your business card, your kind of pen you use, what you use to take notes, how you appear, even the car you arrive in. Now, I'm not telling you that if you don't have a good car, you can't sell. I'm just saying, I know a lot of times when you work in an organization, I remember I used to have a boss then who used to tell us that if you're going out of the office, he said it doesn't matter if, this was when I was in the bank, we used to have a place, it was in Apapa Eleganza. And I make reference to the bank because, you see, selling is a transferable skill. If you've been doing sales for a while, you will know that when you move from one industry to another, the concepts, the sales techniques are the same. However, industry knowledge, product knowledge still differentiates. So this means you could have come from another industry into your industry. But because you don't have the right product knowledge, you don't have the right industry knowledge, you find out that your sales will not still come up the way it came up in the other industry. So selling skills is not enough, which as important as it is, the right attitude towards product knowledge, the right attitude towards industry knowledge. And that's part of what I meant by your body language affects your feelings and your attitude. You have to get the right attitude towards it and make sure you master it 100%. Now, he used to tell us that, he would say, even if you're going to the next building in this plaza, he says, go in the car. In his mind, he was trying to communicate something to us. How you appear. How you appear. Now, even if you don't have a car, right? There are other things you can still leverage on. At least dress properly. Dress excellently. In our environments, at least in Nigeria here, in our environment, in fact, around the world generally, people respect your suits. People respect your suits. When you see somebody dressed in a suit, you know this person means business. This person knows what he's saying. Imagine somebody going for his wedding. He wants to get married. And on that day, he doesn't come in a suit. Even the bride will be concerned. Even the bride will be concerned. Everybody expects that on the wedding day you come in a suit. Why? Because it's an important occasion. Or somebody going for an interview. You're going for an interview. It's expected that because it's an important job opportunity, you come in a suit. In the same way, when you're about to engage your prospects, dress the best you can. I would always recommend you go in a suit so that at least you can appear the best way possible. I know some of you, maybe because of your line of sales and what you do, you prefer to wear native. No problem. But I would always say that even if you're going to wear native, make sure you wear it at the highest level. Because appearance always affects the customer's belief about you, about your products, about your service. People will do business with you if they know you. Thank God for marketing. They now know you. If they like you, if you dress properly, the prospect would like you. And finally, if they trust you. So they must know you, They must like you and they must trust you to do business with you. Now, one of the ways you can make them trust you, ladies and gentlemen, is when you give what we call persuasive attention. Persuasive attention. So the first driver, I said absolute certainty. The second driver, I said your personal appearance. The third driver, when you give what we call persuasive attention. This means you want to listen to the prospect like your life depends on it. Marketing and selling are not the same thing. You are not a marketer, you're a salesperson. Who is a marketer? A marketer communicates value. A marketer announces. A marketer does the work to make traffic possible to the salespeople through announcements, through value communication. So they are doing the work so that sales can come in, so that sales can do its work. So marketing alone, a lot of times, will not give the brand the best amount of revenue. Sales is required. And sales is at the point where there is a physical engagement. There's an exchange of words with the prospects based on what marketing has done. So for you to be able to do sales properly, you need to be able to pay attention to the prospect. You need to be able to know what exactly they need. You need to be able to focus on asking questions. Don't talk too much. Too much of talk spoils sales. Don't talk too much. Ask questions. Understand where they're coming from. Understand where they're going to. Understand what their goals and objectives are. Remember, I said something yesterday. I said, our role as salespeople is not to find people who are interested. No. We are to look for people who are qualified. And how do you know if somebody is qualified? You want to listen to the person. Because as you listen to the person, you'll be able to know that, yes, oh, this person actually has the financial capacity. I understand this person's decision-making process. I understand this person's decision-making time frame. So that way, you'll be able to start to do business with the person effectively. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk to you about how you can profile your prospects correctly so that you can be able to determine their financial capacity, their decision-making process, and even their urgency when it comes to selling to them. Then we'll look at how you can also birth interest in the prospects. Because as long as you've met a prospect who has financial capacity, man, in local parlance, stay there. Stay there. Meaning, keep following up the prospects. Stay on this person. Because all you need to do is birth interest. And I'm going to show you tomorrow one technique you can use to birth interest in your prospects. If you have any questions, please type in the comment section below. I will take my time and I'll give you a full response so that you'll be able to excel and do well in your sales. Please share this link with others. Let them know that, hey, every morning, 6:30 a.m., well, 6:30 a.m. thereabouts. We tried to set up quickly this morning, right? 6:30 a.m., you can get on the call and learn these concepts and be able to do well in your sales. So today, remember, when you go out with absolute certainty. Dress the best you can and give your prospect persuasive attention. Look at them eyeball to eyeball, make eye contact, nod your head, show them that, hey, Mr. Prospect, I'm here for you, and I just want to understand you better. Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? So I can see how my products can take you to where you're going to faster. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.